Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I know you don't have to say it or write it in the comments. I know it's ridiculous that this is my very first time watching and reviewing Goodfellas. Goodfellas is a 1990 film that's based on a true story. It is directed by Martin Scorsese. I know, this is a film that I've heard about all my life, as far as how great it was, how just great of a movie in general, but how it could possibly be Martin Scorsese's best film of all time. Trust me, it's been on my list of movies to watch at some point, someday, one day. I clearly bought it for said reason, but I finally watched it. The plot, the story, is we meet Henry Hill, played by Ray Liotta. You see that he's pretty much been involved in the mob lifestyle his whole life, since he was a teenager. And he got roped up in there. He loved it. He was a natural. He's good at it. He doesn't really have to do any dirty work or some real hardcore stuff, but he does do work for some serious and dangerous people like Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. But once stuff hits the fan, right? At first it seems great, luxurious, all of this good perks comes with the life. But then stuff gets too hard, it gets way too dangerous, people die. It's too much for Henry Hill. It's just too much. What I thought of Goodfellas was, if you can see it, I really enjoyed the film. I loved the movie. Who am I kidding? It's one of those things where, because it has been such of a build-up, it's been overhyped, or it could have been overhyped. So many people, I don't hear a bad thing about this film. So I got nervous. I got nervous that I would watch this and maybe not love it or like it as much as other people. But no, this did not let me down. I was not disappointed in the slightest. I really enjoyed Ray Liotta in this film as Henry Hill. Ray Liotta is somebody who's been around forever. I've always seen in supporting roles or various movies throughout the years, but this is where he shines because he is the main character. He is somebody that, like I said, gets a little cocky maybe about this life and how good he is at what he does, and it's easy to understand why he does get roped up in it, because look at what happens. This guy steps foot into a restaurant. The manager instantly comes up to him, says hello, if he has a date. So they bring out a table from the back specifically for him, up in front, so he has the best view. He's taken care of anywhere, and the respect, aka people fearing the mob, I guess that's just something that they all crave, that they all want, that they all demand. And so, yes, it seems all well and good, but it's when things get hard, it's when maybe the wrong people get whacked, or when certain people think that maybe you ratted on them, you snitched on them, so they don't trust you, and you're paranoid, and you can't leave the house without thinking, holy crap, I'm gonna get killed. Any which way it can happen. And so that, the first half being so amazing to be in the life, to the last half where you're dreading every single second, I think that's why the movie works so well. It's over 2.5 hours long, but I did not feel the length at all. It just sort of was like, oh wow, it's over. Look at the time. I didn't look at my watch the whole time. I don't have a watch, but you know what I mean. I was never bored. I was captivated. It's something about Scorsese. I think all of his movies are damn near 3 hours long, and I'm always in it. Some of the other the actors, you have Robert De Niro as Jimmy Conway. Of course, Robert De Niro is in a Scorsese film. What would you expect? And he's great. Of course, he's great as this guy who is kind of big shit when he first comes into town. Of course, Henry Hill instantly gravitates to him. But at first, it seems like De Niro is the coolest guy, the coolest mob guy to be around, because he is loyal. He does seem like he'll do anything for his guys, and and he seems like he has your back. But once he starts to not trust you, there are a couple scenes near the end where I was scared of De Niro because I didn't know what he would or could do. But Joe Pesci, we have to talk about Joe Pesci, who plays Tommy DeVito. It's funny that I watched Casino before watching this movie because Pesci is very similar as far as his character goes in both of these movies, where he is a hothead, he is a loose cannon, he is out of control. There's a scene where this poor kid at the bar that they're at, he accidentally doesn't bring Pesci a drink. He thought Pesci said that he was good, that he didn't need one, and he's trying to explain that to Pesci, and Pesci is so mad. I don't know if he's on something or why. Is it just the short man complex that he's just angry at everybody? But the poor kid gets shot in the foot, and you're like, holy crap, Pesci's crazy. He's crazy. He's unpredictable. He's out of control. And then later on, not that long later, the kid's foot is wrapped up, bandaged up, and it's the next night. Pesci's giving him shit again, and the kid says, fuck you, go to hell. And everybody else is like, De Niro is like, wow, the set of balls on this kid. And I thought the same thing. I thought, wow. And Pesci was sitting there making this face. He didn't explode. He didn't look angry. He just was looking at the kid. And I swore he was going to have respect for him. I swore he was going to say, wow, I'm impressed, kid. I put up with shit my whole life, and I had to fight back, and I'm impressed that you just did the same thing. But no, Pesci says, fuck you, and shoots him dead in front of everybody. I jumped up from my seat, just shocked and uneasy, but I also loved every time that Pesci was on screen. That's how good of an actor he was. The scene where he's telling that funny story, and Ray Liotta says, you're a funny guy, and the exchange that Pesci gives him, as uncomfortable as that is, as long as he drags that on for, because thank God he was kidding. Thank God he wasn't really pissed, because I was scared for everybody in that room, at that table, but especially Henry Hill. I want to quickly talking about that, especially that scene. Ray Liotta has the funniest or most over-the-top face when he laughs as Henry Hill, especially in that scene where Pesci is being funny, and Ray Liotta just has this big giant laugh, and his face is all like And it was making me laugh too, because before seeing this movie, I've seen memes or GIFs of that specific moment of Ray Liotta laughing at the table with everyone, and so to see in context where that comes from, I think that was great. I enjoyed it. Also, Karen, poor Karen, Ray Liotta, Henry Hill's wife in this movie. She's played by Lorraine Bracco. This character, this woman, had to go through so much. I know she was roped up by the lifestyle. She didn't exactly know what Henry Hill did, but she had some ideas. I'm sure she just decided to look the other way. Her mother clearly doesn't like Henry because of how often he stays out and doesn't call and disappears. And at first, I felt bad because Henry's just out doing his business. Clearly, Karen accepts it. She's even defending him to the mom, until you find out that Henry is cheating on her left and right, like almost every night, sleeping with another chick. Hell, he gets his side girlfriend, her own apartment, so that he can every so often stay the night over there. Man, I felt for her. The couple scenes where she would lose her shit and threaten to kill him with that gun, or want to kill him. I didn't blame her. This guy was a piece of shit in so many ways, and it wasn't just that girl. There's plenty of other girls that he was constantly cheating with. Henry Hill, in real life, I would see Henry Hill show up on Howard Stern, like when I was younger, and I would see this old guy come onto the show and talk about his mob stories. And clearly he looked nothing like Ray Liotta, so he should be happy with this casting. But it's more fascinating though to hear the little bit that I did hear, to now watching the movie and seeing the details, seeing almost beat for beat what this guy went through and had done. It was insane. The one scene where Pesci kills that mob guy in the restaurant and puts him in the trunk, and the guy's not really dead, and they just have to keep killing him. I mean, holy crap! I felt for Henry Hill being scared out of his mind because he doesn't do the killing. Also, my one complaint, and it's not really a big major complaint because I still give this movie, every great rating that you can think of. I don't have a lot of complaints at all. But the one minor nitpick I do have is that, man, they do my boy Sam Jackson dirty. They do. I know that he had only been acting for like a year, maybe two by this point. He didn't have a name. He was only in a couple of films, barely known. So yes, it's hard to remember a time where Sam Jackson wasn't Sam Jackson and wasn't that famous actor. But when he popped up on screen, I got excited and I couldn't wait to see more of his character. And yeah, obviously it doesn't quite go that well. Also, he's the only black guy in this movie, man. He is. What is up with Scorsese just never having black characters in his movies? I know he loves the mob, and so you see a lot of Irish and Italian type characters, and so I'm not gonna make this a whole big thing, but I was disappointed by how that character turned out. But overall, yes, this movie is insane. It's fascinating. It was a great watch. I would gladly rewatch this movie. It very well might be the greatest mob film of all time, for sure. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Goodfellas? Do you like it? Do you love it? Did you grow up on it? How are you introduced to it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!